What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, and yeah, I got another episode for y'all in my What's Next series. And continuing forward, like said, I'm going to be using players from my breakout videos to really start this series. So I do recommend you check those out if you're going to keep up with this series, and you can even try and guess who's next in the comments. But okay, my next player is Justise Winslow, aka Point Justice. At number 1, I have Justise Winslow. Justise Winslow is a 6'6" forward/guard who was a 10th overall pick in the 2015 draft to the Miami Heat, but was recently traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. Winslow averages on his career 11.3 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game. He signed a 3-year, $39 million contract extension in October of 2018 with the Miami Heat before they decided to part ways with him. I believe overall Justise will have a breakout season simply because of the players he will be around and the role he will have to fit playing alongside Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Winslow can develop into an Andre Iguodala type player if he stays healthy, as his somewhat young career has been riddled with injuries so far that have all affected his development. In November of 2016, he suffered a wrist injury that was thought to be minor but ended up being something that kept him sidelined for a while. Moving forward, in January of 2017, he tore his labrum and was unable to shoot the ball and was sidelined once again. And then when he returned, he got a knee injury and was sidelined once again. But after his return in the 2017-2018 season, Eric Spoelstra played him at point guard for the last 20 games of the season to utilize his court vision and passing abilities, and also because there were injuries to players like Dion Waiters and Goran Dragic. During this stretch of games, Justise went on to average 11 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and around 2.5 assists per game. At this time, he also improved his driving shooting percentage from 43% to 60%. This was a major improvement as the Miami system has always relied on the drive and kick or drive and shoot type of play style. On the defensive side, Justise has always been on point. It's just his offense at times can be a little lackluster. Paul George went on to compare him to himself and Kawhi Leonard once, saying that on the defensive side, he's proven that he can be that guy given the opportunity, and eventually the offense will come, just like it did for him and Kawhi. Playing alongside Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., all Justise will really have to do is catch and shoot or make off-ball plays for himself or others, and be a force on the defensive end, which he's already proved he can do. If Justise can have a healthy season, I can see the Memphis Grizzlies forming a mini big three of Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Justise Winslow. Now, I still do believe that Justise is still capable of performing at the levels of an almost Andre Iguodala type player, but with a better offensive skill set at his disposal. As once again, he did get injured, and I understand why Justise is overlooked by most. The guy's only played about 13 games in the last 2 seasons, as his early tenure with the Grizzlies saw him struggling with the back issue, and then after 2 games for him on the floor, the pandemic ended the season and he didn't play in the bubble because he went into the training camp and got injured as he suffered a hip injury. And it just sucks to see such a promising player be so injury riddled, especially early in his career like this. But I do believe that the potential for Winslow is high if just the simple fact he can stay healthy. To further the thought of his potential, my understanding of how the Grizzlies viewed trading for Winslow was a centerpiece for their team, and at one point, Danny Ainge even went as far as to offer 4 first-round picks for him. Yeah, 4. So you kind of get where I'm coming from. Hindsight, because of injury, it was better he didn't though, because, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But okay, what's next for Justise Winslow? Well, for one, he has to stay healthy to even get anywhere going forward, as I don't believe the patience for him is as high as it once was. But remaining healthy and performing at the level he was for the Miami Heat during that stretch I referenced in the recap, if he can replicate that type of role in Memphis, he would be a great fit to Morant
and would allow for Ja to take a few plays off or even be good enough to run different lineups that would allow for Ja to come out for rest, and the Grizzlies offense wouldn't crumble because Justise is running it, which could be a great thing, bringing in a capable athlete to take some of the burden off your superstar's shoulder in the team play. I still also believe that there can be that mini trio of Ja, Justise, and 3J, because if Justise can stay healthy, he wouldn't only be a perfect fit for Ja on offense, but he could also be the perfect defensive pairing for 3J, as the Grizzlies would have a great perimeter and overall defender in Winslow, and then they would be bolstering this front court with a great player like Jaren Jackson Jr., who has a lot of potential on the defensive end and is long and agile enough to stretch to the perimeter if needed to. I believe, in all honesty, Justise is one of the biggest X factors in the league based solely off the way he could fit for this Memphis team. I look at him as almost the missing piece to this Grizzlies team, as looking at the Memphis team entirely, it's a gritty and deep ball club that I feel like just pairs well with the playstyle Justise gets introduced into the system overall, as he simply can run an offense and is a great defensive player. Looking back, I brought up the comparisons to Kawhi and PG, but seeing it now, I truly stick to the thought of him being a left-handed Andre Iguodala / Kawhi Leonard type of player, based solely off his ability to defend and his playmaking playstyle. So, my answer to what's next for Justise is with the hopeful sense that he stays healthy. So, if he does, what's next is Justise finally fulfills his potential and becomes a great rising talent in Memphis alongside Ja and Jaren, or he solely falls off in a similar fashion to the players we've seen with injury-riddled careers before. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help my channel grow and gives me incentive to keep editing and making these videos. There should be 2 videos popping up on the screen, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you clicked on one if it interests you. Hope you tune in next time. Peace. Facts.